This is Gerald. Gerald is boring. And this is Gerald after he started partying. Gerald is no longer boring. But how did we get here? Let's take a few steps back. Okay, enough of the stupid voice. Going into this project, I had no clue what I was going to do, but my first thought was to shuffle Gerald here around a bit. I knew I didn't want to do any scanning of documents or any digital work, too many possibilities of me taking off way more than I can chew and being unhappy with the result. So we had to do this the fun way. So I stabbed Gerald a few times and cut some pieces out of him, and then rearranged his parts in random orientations to give him more of that jumbled look. He's looking great. Of course, I had to keep him together with some tape, which was done on both the front and back of him. After that, officially began his rock star transformation. I wanted to give him some star-shaped glasses, like Monty Gator from Security Breach, and I searched up a reference photo to get the colors correct. I was on a time limit here, you can only blame me so much for how this looks. After that, I thought, you know what's better than star-shaped glasses? Stars. So I cut out all these stars, and then decided to tape them on, since it keeps everything more concise, you know? It makes sense, trust. So every single star has a bit of tape on them, and I slapped them onto Gerald. Now, at this point, I was sort of thinking in aesthetics, but like the ones I desperately wanted to follow for a bit when I was younger, but couldn't. And so, the first one was a weirdcore type thing, which means eyes. And a lot of them. Every star gets an eye, and a lot of them have multiple. It's great. On top of the eyes, another thing I've seen predominantly in weirdcore is mushrooms. They're weird in the real world, so it makes sense. So I drew these patterns all over the exposed tape with the intent of coloring them red. It also sort of ties in with cottagecore, another aesthetic I like to look at. I colored the tape in, then I grabbed some random markers and thought, you know, Gerald's rearranged parts would make great planets. But I decided to go back to making Gerald a rock star, by giving him a drink that I then wrote, "Let's get crunk at the club tonight" on. God made a mistake giving me free will, I swear. Then I wrote over the picture, "Sorry for party rockin'," which is a reference to a song I've never actually listened to. I gave Gerald a tongue and a little top hat, and then drew a rocket ship in the bottom right corner. Oh yeah, and at some point I colored in the border of the photo with black and added little yellow dots. I don't know what I was doing here. But then, our 2-hour time frame came to an end, and Gerald was completed. He's majestic, perfection even. No complaints. And so, Gerald, in his new party-loving state, was found passed out in a ditch after some Florida man attempted to fight him for his drink. Let's hope he makes a swift recovery.